Aaron, what is our fourth main topic today?
Well, aside from John being embarrassed to talk about his silky smooth balls in front of my mom, this comes to us from Dark Helmet. Good morning, everyone. I'll say it. Andor is better than Mandalorian. Just saw episode 6 and I'm still catching my breath. That absolutely felt like a totally satisfying season finale. But then I remembered that we still have half the season to go. I felt the tension every step of the heist with everything going right and the things that went wrong.
All right, Dark Helmet. Thanks. By the way, great reference there, Spaceballs. Thank you so much for sending that in. Yeah, listen, I have been, next week, I finally get to see a new episode of Andor because I've seen episodes 5 and 6 a while ago. And I told you guys the heist thing is coming. The heist thing is coming. This episode, first of all, this show just continues to get better and better and better. I still think House of the Dragon is the best show that's currently airing. But Andor, to me, is a close second. And the way everything built up and then comes to its climax in this thing with the whole plan, the heist, and then even the things that happen after the heist. And we're not going to go into big spoilers right now. We'll save the spoilers discussion for a little bit later. But as the plan, we start to see the plan being unfolded. Is that Joey Bishop dreaming?
She having little puppy dreams.
She's like, she's chasing something.
She's fighting
you guys
Imperial
know I'm a
officers.
huge sucker for heist films, like a major, major sucker. So when the plan starts to unfold and you see it coming in, like I'm just absolutely riveted. The characters and everything we've known about them and their depth all come to fruition with everything that's playing out in the heist, all that kind of stuff. Visually, the episode is absolutely gorgeous. Andor as a character becomes more and more impressive just as an individual character because, you know, in the first couple of episodes, as much as I liked it, it's like, is this a character that can carry a series? And as you get further and further along, particularly culminating here in episode 6, you're like, yeah, you can revolve an entire show around this character. And you really feel like, and again, without giving away any spoilers, the way this episode ends, it feels like a pivotal moment in the story of Star Wars. It feels like what happens here is the moment that the flare went off into the air. Like that, this was the moment, right? And you just get that sense. And I love the way they brought it all together. I love the way it concluded. The heist was fantastic. The visuals are gorgeous. I was on the edge of my seat the entire time I watched this thing. It was just absolutely phenomenal and brilliant. And again, for somebody like me who's a Star Wars fan and then coming off of 2 back-to-back disappointing Star Wars shows, and I understand a lot of you guys liked Book of Boba Fett and Obi-Wan, and that's awesome. I'm not trying to yuck on your yum. I'm just saying for me, those 2 shows were a disappointment. Didn't hate them, but they were a disappointment. To come off that disappointment into something like Andor, which has been so next level, and like I say all the time, more HBO than Disney Plus. I have adored it. I love this episode. And I have no idea where the rest of the series is going. I have not seen episodes 7 through 12. So I'm very, very excited to finally see a new episode. But anyway, Chris, you saw the new episode of Andor. What were your thoughts?
For those of you who think this show has been moving too slow, this episode is for you.
And that I will never understand. I mean, I respect if somebody feels that way. I'm
Yeah.
just saying I just don't understand it.
Well, I think that's key to a big heist kind of show, right? For espionage kinds of shows, you have to lay the groundwork so the plan makes sense to you as the viewer.
And build tension.
Yeah,
And
and
build
build
that tension,
tension.
yeah.
And I think Rob said this really, really well the other day. This really, really just gives the audience the respect it deserves to have like, hey, we know you're intelligent and we want to walk you through this and have you be part of what's going on this show. We want you to know about all the intrigue. We want you to know what's going on. And we're going to have you along for the ride. I think this is so well done. These friggin' rebels. These friggin' rebels, man. And their manifestos and everything. I love them. I love them so much. And I think this is just such a beautifully done episode too. The juxtaposition between certain different groups in this episode is so fun. The big visual at the end is just so stunning. Oh, it's so good. It's a great episode.
And, you know, when we met in the previous episodes, the Imperial Lieutenant, and, you know, we talked about in one of the other episodes when she tells Andor his story about the woman he fell in love with, the wife he lost. And every moment he's with the other Imperials, you just feel his vitriol
them.
and his hatred and all that kind of stuff, and the way that comes out and the manifests. It's like,
And they do such a good job too of making you hate that commander.
Oh, yeah.
With just the littlest little microaggressions against his own family, where you're like, you piece of shit. It's well done.
Anyway, Aaron, you had a chance to watch this episode of Andor. What did you think?
That was actually, you took the words right out of my mouth, because one of the things that I loved about the very first episode that I spoke about was how the writing in such a small little way can tell you everything you need to know about that character, whether it was the guy in the first episode who had added pinstriping and just did a little tuck to his uniform, and now it's this guy saying my son
Let's
is
not go
old.
too into it. Too many details.
But basically, the microaggressions and just the way that he speaks to his wife and his child, you see all you need to see of who this person is. And that's really difficult to do when you're, with the rebels, there's a lot of them. I mean, not a lot, but more than 3 is a lot when you're trying to tell a story about each individual. And each individual person has their own motivation for why they're a part of this rebellion, their own motivation for why they're willing to risk their lives. And every episode, we get just a little bit more from each one of them to see what's their driving force, what's their challenge. The ones who are very strong initially and then have like reservations, the ones that have reservations going in, but in that moment, they're ready to go, and how those things change. And, I know a lot about heist movies because every single day for the past week, Tom has been watching Ocean's 11 in the background over and over.
I love that movie. It's
a great movie. Would you like to watch it every day? But that's the thing. In any good heist movie, you've got to have that build up because it's like you're building a house. You got to take the time to build a good foundation, to build, solid walls, and then you can just decorate and put up all the drapes you want. And I feel like we're getting to that point where the foundation has been built. We understand what we're standing on, and it's pretty darn solid. So then to be able to see the eye and all the beauty and the cinematography of this episode giving us that visual feast, they've really laid the groundwork in this character development, and I'm just really impressed. And good for Disney Plus for righting their wrong and getting this train back on tracks, because I was starting to get a little concerned, like, hey man, we had a good start with Mandalorian. Where are we going here? So I feel a lot more optimistic moving forward if Andor is going to be the track that we're going to be riding on.
I think it was IndieWire that made this comment, and I agree with this. Andor is Star Wars for grown-ups. Not that all grown-ups will like it. It's not going to be for all grown-ups. So like if you're somebody who doesn't like Andor, that doesn't mean you're not a grown-up. That's what it feels like. It feels like this is the Star Wars for grown-ups, and God, I love this show so much, and it just keeps getting better. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What did you think about the newest episode of Andor? And don't forget, a little bit later today, this afternoon, I'll just call an audible right now, 3:30 Los Angeles time, we will be doing our Andor open spoiler after show. Hope you guys will come back, and that gives you a few more hours to make sure you guys can get caught up and watch the episode. Come on back and join us for that. Hey guys, we want to take a second to thank the sponsor of today's video, Raycon. Now, you guys know I've been using Raycon as a part of my morning routine for a long time now. I love getting up, getting on my treadmill, pulling out my iPad and watching my favorite tech YouTubers like Linus Tech Tips, another good Canadian kid, by the way. And my Raycon wireless earbuds come through for me every time. Raycon's everyday earbuds look, feel, and sound better than ever. With optimized gel tips with the perfect in-ear fit, these earbuds are so comfortable and they will not budge. Trust me. My Raycons give me 8 hours of playtime and a 32-hour battery life. And one of the best things about Raycons is that they are priced just right. You get quality audio at half the price of other premium audio brands. It's no wonder Raycon's everyday earbuds have over 50,000 five-star reviews. And when I'm on my treadmill, the earbud tap functions help me stay hands-free, and the noise isolation is fantastic. So guys, go to buyraycon.com today and use the promo code Campea15 to get 15% off your Raycon order. That's code Campea15 at buyraycon.com to score 15% off. Buyraycon.com, code Campea15.